Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, Steve Roy here, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you tuning in. Before we get started, if you're a dad listening to the show right now, you're not happy with some aspect of your health and fitness, stop trying to do it alone. It's not working. Stop doing what's not working, what you know is not working, which is you just spinning your wheels, struggling, floundering. You need help. Find a coach, find a tribe, find a partner, find somebody that gives a shit about you and your success, and then stick with it, right? Join something, find someone, be accountable to someone or something bigger than yourself, and put yourself out there. Otherwise, you're just going to be struggling. You're going to be doing the same things you've been doing for the last X number of years. You're going to look back in 5 years from now and saying, I should have done this, I should have done this. But you haven't. Now you're just 5 years older. You're 5 years fatter, and you're 5 years worse. You have to make a change, and I strongly suggest you do it now. We've got a couple groups. We've got a free private Facebook group called the Fit Dad Base Camp, about 800 guys in there right now. Feel free to apply to the group, totally free, lots of stuff going on in there. Secondly, we have a private membership community called the Fit Dad Nation Inner Circle, which is where guys really that are very serious about making change, staying accountable, and getting results month after month. That's what that group is all about. And you can find out more information about that at fitdadnation.com/inner circle. So what I want to talk about today, we just came off a big challenge, and I want to share some of the successes we had and why. So I'm a big fan, as you guys probably know, if you've been following my stuff for any length of time, you know that we do challenges pretty much every month. And the reason I do that is because I try to get guys engaged. We really mix it up as far as challenges. We do a lot of different types of things. And the idea behind it really is 1, to get you moving, 2, to get you engaged, and 3 is for something to click. So by switching from different types of challenges, usually we have guys in the group that it just clicks for, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's body weight training, realizing, hey, I really don't need to join a gym. I can just do all this stuff outside, or something with like a primal diet. It just clicks and they say, you know what, this is something that I really can follow for the rest of my life, and it works for me and I really like it. And so I'm going to go with it. That's the idea. And I love to see those comments. I love to get that feedback when a guy just says, I've been struggling for so many years, and because of this challenge, it just really resonated with me. And this is something that I can do long term. And that's honestly what it's all about. So this is about the long term. And so when I do these challenges, and the one that we just came off was called Project 45. And it's a 45-day challenge, loosely based on the principles behind the 75 Hard, which we've also done in the group. And this one, I made a few tweaks. It's not quite as strict. But some of the parameters are the same, because obviously, if you know anything about the 75 Hard, it works. I mean, it's clearly, it's hard, obviously, given the name. It's not an easy challenge to stick to, but that's the idea, right? Easy doesn't necessarily work. So we did this challenge, and this is, I think, the 3rd time we've run this particular challenge over the last, 3 or 4 years. One of my favorites. And so here's how it was set up. So I gave the guys in the challenge, and I did this myself. I personally did this because I had kind of let myself go definitely farther than I wanted to, as far as just eating a bunch of garbage and feeling like shit. So I wanted to do this for myself too. So you had 4 things to do every single day for all 45 days. That was the challenge. Number 1 was following a diet. And I didn't care which diet each man selected. It was more about finding what actually worked for them personally. And so for any diet to be successful, it has to have a couple things. 1, it has to be healthy. Number 2, it has to get results for you. And number 3, it has to be sustainable. So most diets out there have 1 or 2 of those things, but not all 3. And that's the problem, right? A lot of them get you results as in weight loss on the scale, it could be sustainable, but it's not necessarily healthy, like an all cookie diet or some bullshit liquid diet, right? And so sometimes some of the guys, followed a primal diet. Some did paleo. Some just decided to do intermittent fasting. And we had some guys that just eliminated fast food and soda. And that was their diet, and that's perfectly fine. So if you've been eating like shit, and you're eating fast food, you're eating junk food, just cutting that stuff out, not going to any type of extreme at all, just cutting that stuff out works tremendously well. And that was the idea. So that was the first one. Every day, no cheats, you follow this. Number 2, follow a strength and conditioning program. So obviously, the importance of regular exercise. It's critical for guys to be doing some form of strength training 3-4 days a week. In this particular program, we were doing 4 days of strength training, 3 days of conditioning. And these weren't long, drawn-out workouts that took all day. It was, about 40 minutes or so of strength training 4 times a week, supplemented with short, about 20, 25-minute conditioning type workouts. These are circuit type workouts. And then, additional walking or whatever you wanted to do was fine. So that was it. I provided the entire framework for the program, all the videos, everything that was included. You could just follow along, or guys were free to do their own, follow the P90X or whatever. As long as you were following that protocol, strength training and conditioning, that worked. Number 3 was drinking half of your weight in ounces of water every day. So for a 200-pound guy, 100 ounces a day. Great habit. I personally found the extreme gallon per day on the 75 hard just too much. It was just in the bathroom literally every couple of hours, and that was the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I was in there every 45 minutes. It was just too distracting. Couldn't sleep through the night. It was just too much water, so I had to, I found that it just made a little more sense. And I honestly believe that that's plenty of water. If you can drink half of your weight in ounces, plenty of water. And then 4th was just a short daily mobility workout, which is stretching, right? Dedicated stretching. We as dads up in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, again, I just turned 50, extremely, extremely important to stay mobile, to work on that every single day, even for a few minutes. The workouts that I provided, I think I had 10 in there, 10 different video sessions were between, I think, 6 and 10 minutes. So anybody can find that type of time, and it's absolutely well worth it. And so those are the 4 things. Every day, those 4 things. We had a spreadsheet for tracking because the accountability piece was kind of the key to all of this, right? It's putting yourself out there, and every guy could see who was putting in the work and who was not. And that was the key. So you're tracking these things every single day in a private group with the other men who are all working on the same stuff as you, doing the same things every single day, putting in the work. So I asked a couple of questions before the challenge. We got some goals because I really feel like, regardless of what you're doing, it makes sense to have a goal or goals in mind, and not, I want to lose weight and feel better, right? Everybody wants that shit, right? A specific goal to you that's going to be important, and it's not for any other reason. It's not just to say, shit, I have a goal. It's to provide you with not motivation, but inspiration when shit gets hard and you want to quit. So you need to have that compelling emotional reason why you're going to stick around, especially in a 45-day challenge. It's not super long, but it's not that short either. And this challenge is no different than any other I've ever run, and I've run hundreds of challenges. Men quit. It's going to happen. It happens every single time. No matter what I say, what I do, how much content I provide, how much support is there, men will quit. So you need a reason, a very strong reason to stick in it. And so I'm going to read you a few here, and so, some of the reasons that these guys started this challenge and they decided to take this on. So running 1.5 miles without stopping, right? And that's a huge win, right? Because, granted, 1.5 miles for some of us isn't that long, but for someone that's very deconditioned or hasn't been able to do it for a while and is just huffing and puffing, that's an awesome goal. And just working on that conditioning and the sense of pride you'll feel when you do that, that's huge, right? Another guy said, I want to be physically stronger, to be lean and flexible again. I want to develop some good habits. I want to gain more mobility and have more energy throughout the day, help get back into the right mindset. I want to lose more than just weight. I want to create habits that will last longer than 45 days, which is huge, and that was the goal. Every day I was in the Facebook group, and I committed to doing a Facebook Live, sharing something every single day, which I did. And one of the things that I wanted to get across was this isn't just about this 45-day challenge. This is the catalyst to much bigger things, to long-term, health and fitness. It's not just let's focus on 45 days and then cut it off, go back to eating like you were doing, stop working out. No, of course not. So part of my strategy as the coach was to share these things throughout every day, how to create these habits, how to take this and what we're doing past this challenge into your everyday life, whatever that looks like, right? Because you're not necessarily going to jump from challenge to challenge or program to program. You're going to be, at the end of 45 days, you're going to say, okay, now what do I do? And I wanted to make sure that these guys had a plan for that. I want to complete what I set out to do, which is huge, to help take care of my special needs child as I get older. I want to be physically able to do that. So these things these things are so important. So I look at them and I remind the guys, okay, remember, this is what you told me. This is what you said. This is why you're doing this. Remember that when you're not checking your boxes. And again, accountability, huge. Most of us don't have somebody or a tribe that's going to call us out on our bullshit or on our excuses. We have enablers in our lives, big time. We have people that sabotage us, and we have people that are just kind of indifferent and don't really care whether or not we succeed or not. It's just the way it is. I have plenty of those people in my life, and I have, fortunately, some people that really do care and hold me accountable, which has been extremely helpful. So again, this comes back to a tribe. Men thrive in tribes. It's just a fact. It's human nature. We thrive in tribes, and you have to find your tribe. And there's plenty of tribes online, plenty of great groups out there. I really think it's important for you to at least search out and find the type of guys that you get along with. I'm part of a couple of men's groups, and honestly, I don't feel like I really fit into them. And so, I'm not active in them. And you'll join groups, and it's kind of funny because I have an application process with my free group, actually for both groups. My free group, I ask a couple questions, and when I let somebody in, it shows how many groups they're a part of. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen guys that are part of hundreds of different Facebook groups. Hundreds. Obviously, nobody can be active in all those groups, but it just shows you that men are searching for something. They're searching for their tribe. They're searching for a place to fit in. And it's not just as easy as finding, this fitness group looks pretty cool. That's not what it's about. It's about finding your people. So like if you're like for me, I love a couple things that a lot of people don't love. I'm a huge heavy metal fan, like thrash metal, 80s thrash metal. That's a pretty small niche. And I also am a former big time gamer, like role-playing games was my thing. So I'm kind of dorky in that way too. And so when I gravitate towards people that I can talk to those things about, not the type of guy that goes out and throws axes, the big bearded type of guy that is an outdoor freak and can fix a car and repair his roof. Like I just don't have those skills, nor do I really care. So I just don't fit into those types of groups. So you just find your group. But it's really important. So search it out. Again, we got a lot of stuff in the Fit Dad Nation if that's your thing. So we go through this challenge, and we're going through this, and every week we're doing updated weights. We do a check-in, and this wasn't a quote-unquote weight loss challenge per se. I kind of label it as a transformation challenge because I'm much more interested in you transforming parts of your life instead of just losing weight. To me, that's not a great indicator of success because anybody can just drop scale weight from many different reasons. It's not always the right way to do it. So instead, we focus on transforming habits, transforming your life. And so every week I'd see the same guys showing up. They'd show up on the calls, they'd show up on the lives, they'd be commenting, and then there's a segment of guys that don't. And the guys that were most active, and this holds true for pretty much every challenge I've ever done, the guys that are most engaged and most active, sharing wins and losses, showing up for the different calls, they do the best. The guys that retreat and hide, try to do it themselves, they struggle in silence despite me imploring them to share, they don't, and they don't do very well. And so week after week, I see these guys and lost another 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds, whatever it is. I'm feeling this way. This has been changing. I'm feeling great. Yeah, I love what we're doing here. And the guy that ended up winning. So we did this challenge in a way where it was based on total weight loss as a percentage, not just a number. And then before and after photos, inches, the difference, and engagement. So all those things combined. The guy that won, his name was Wally, lost 24 pounds, a whole bunch of inches, and just really the big thing was his before and afters. It was crazy. I mean, I would have thought he lost 50 pounds looking at his photos. But yeah, he was in a place where he had let himself go. He sent me a picture of him at the beach in the water, and, he didn't like what it looked like. He wasn't happy that he looked kind of like a beach ball out there, and he wanted to change. And he did. Like, his photos, and I posted it on social media, were crazy. And he's getting started again, so I have no doubt he's going to run with this and continue to make killer progress. And so, yeah, he won. Actually, we had a prize was this nice air fryer that actually we have here at our house. Works awesome, and it was awesome, and it was a pretty cool gift for him to get. And so hopefully that'll help him, will continue to eat healthy. So I want to read something from Wally. Actually, he sent me this message, and I asked him a couple questions, and he tells me, "I truly needed this, and the win was just the icing on the cake. I like the guy, the father, the husband that I am now. I just want to get better. I battled back from my shoulder injury. When I started this thing, I was doing 50-pound dumbbells for 10 reps on an incline bench. Last week, I was repping 90s for 8 on my last 2 sets. This thing works. This is by far the best exercise program I've done. 30 days was too short for me. 75 days seemed like an eternity. The 45-day challenge is the bomb." So that was his message to me. I've actually decided to probably run this again soon, just because of the difference that I've seen in the guys that did it. It was pretty big. It was pretty big, and it means a lot when I see transformations and I get messages. Someone else had sent me a message saying it's really changed the whole trajectory of his life. This was a guy that wasn't very active in the group, pretty quiet, but he was silently making progress. And he said, although, my scale weight wasn't huge, I didn't make a massive transformation that way, I really feel like this kind of jump-started me back into my health and fitness, and I'm running with it now. Those are the things that get me going. That's why I do this. It's not, wow, so-and-so lost 20 pounds, boom. That, to me, that doesn't mean a whole lot. It's what's behind that, what does that represent? And it's the messages that I get from guys in the challenge or that have gone through something that we've done that says, you really changed my life, or this changed my life, and this is why. That's what it's all about. So when I run this again, I'm going to put it out there, and put it on social. And I'm hoping that if you listen to this and you're thinking, I could really use something like this. I want to jumpstart. I want the accountability. I need someone to hold me to my word, what I say I want. If you're looking for mental toughness, if you want to put your ass on the line, I'm telling you, this is a great way to do it. I don't have a date as to when I'm going to be running this again. I just, I really think that a lot of men will benefit from something like this to get them started, to get them engaged, to get them consistent, which is, as you know, guys, this is the key. Consistency is the key with all this stuff. A few basic good habits, and then be just ruthlessly consistent with it. You will absolutely make progress. A couple things that I'll note about this particular challenge as opposed to other ones. One, this was more expensive than a lot of my other challenges. It was $200 to join, which isn't a ton of money, especially for the value that you get, but it puts a little bit of skin in the game for you. And that's important. It's something that I've worked with coaches in the past talking about, value, perceived value. And at the end of the day, honestly, people don't value stuff that's either free or very, very cheap. So if I gave you this amazing program that let's say someone sold for $999. If I gave it to you for $59, there'll be no perceived value. So chances are you'd be far more likely to just quit when, life got in the way. Whereas if you had invested $1,000 in it, Probably not going to do that, right? Something's going to come up. You're going to say, screw it, I got to do this. I just put $1,000 into this, right? I don't really like the fact that that's how this works and that's how human psychology works, but it's just a fact that's what happens, right? If you pay 10 grand for a program for a coach, your ass is going to show up every single call, right? For $27, you could give a shit. Free challenge, it sounds pretty cool. Thanks for offering the free challenge, but I have better things to do. Just the way it is. So that's what I noticed was a difference maker in this too. A lot of my challenges in the past, $67, $47, $97. And this was a little more, again, just a little bit of skin in the game. And I do think it's not for my benefit. Yes, I get paid more, but it's really more for your benefit because it gets you involved and keeps you engaged when life gets in the way. And again, it always does. I say this all the time. Life always gets in the way no matter what you're doing, program, challenge, whatever. Your life, your kids, your family, your job, your career, your pets, blah, 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 blah. It's going to get in the way. 100 out of 100 times, going to get in the way. You have to figure out, do I make this choice or do I make this choice? Do I stick with what I said I wanted to do, or am I just going to go back to the way I was and give up and not do this, right? Those are the choices you're going to face all the time. I went through this challenge 45 days. I had those challenges all the time. And I constantly had to remind myself, why am I doing this? Number one, I chose this. I committed to this group. I committed to myself to do this for 45 days with no quitting, no cheating. I cannot do that. How can I lead this group of men? How can I feel good about leading this and teaching this if I can't even do it myself? So that kept me going. I lost 12 pounds myself, and I felt great. I mean, I saw quite a big transformation just in my body and more specifically my strength. I was doing a ton of pull-ups and push-ups, and the strength went through the roof, and I felt great. And that's what it's all about. Anyway, guys, keep your eyes out. Watch me on social at the Fit Dad Nation, mostly Instagram, or in the private Facebook group, which is the Fit Dad Base Camp, fitdadnation.com/community. You can apply there. And look out for it. I'm hoping to get it up and running. Again, I don't know exactly when this is going to happen, but within the next couple months, I'm hoping to get this up and running again. Anyway, guys, that's it. Talk next week.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Base Camp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.